This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of March 6, 2017. Two interwoven themes are going to be with us all week long and for the rest of the month and into about half of April as well. What we value, what we want, what we desire now and in the past, join how we go about getting it. The week will bring many opportunities to experience and explore what we want and what we wanted, test it physically, and then by the weekend, stand back and give everything a good analysis, a good objective look, maybe a good pruning as well. The focus on desires comes from Venus, the planet that rules love, money, and all we want, being in her first full week of retrograde motion. As with any retrograde, you can put RE hyphen in front of pretty much every verb, and it will be something that comes up during this spell. And the things that we are revisiting have to do with all of the areas of Venus's rulership. You will have the opportunity, we will all have the opportunity to look more deeply at what is really going on in specific relationships and agreements and financial situations, and maybe even some objects that we value, that things that we thought were important to us. So this could be people, jobs, specific talents, maybe creative projects that you've let sit or that have felt stalled, maybe certain creative talents of yours, modes of expression. The investigation will just as likely focus on what is going on now as it will things that happened from the past. A Venus retrograde often brings ghosts of the past, people showing up in your thoughts and your dreams that you haven't seen or thought of even for years. And it's not necessarily an invitation to go jump back in with these people, although there may be some connections that you realize, that was important, I'd like to have it in my life now. More likely, each of these visitations is a two-part gift. First, the opportunity to resolve unfinished business, even if you think there isn't any remaining. You may well be surprised. And secondly, to pick up parts of yourself that got strewn all over the past, to reconnect with who you were when that situation was live in your life. And maybe a third one too, which is to gain some awareness of how different you are from the person who was in the middle of that situation way back then. Because Venus is in the sign of Aries, this is not likely to be a la-di-da, gentle and easy experience. It's probably going to be impetuous and high energy and a lot of stuff out of the blue, with a very strong emphasis on freedom, individuality, being really, really true to yourself, breaking out of limitation, which can be the way you think about things just as much as it can be an agreement that you have or some external set of conditions. The second theme, the interwoven theme, has a very different vibe to it, which adds to some of the complexity of this week. How we go about things is very much in a physically testing and experiencing mode. Mars, the planet that rules our action, that rules our drive, has moved into the sign of Taurus, which is the most basic, primal, slow, steady, show me, earth sign of the zodiac. Taurus is slow and steady. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I touch it. I'll believe it when I taste it. Bring it into my body. Taurus is profoundly sensory and sensual. So airy-fairy dreaming or high-end intellectualizing, not likely to be part of this equation. We're going to have a very strong drive to run everything through our senses, through our bodies, through our bank accounts even. Is something solid? Is it reliable? Is it real? Does it feel good? In whatever way you want to take that. And one other interesting thing about this intertwining that's worth noting is that the representative of the feminine Venus is in a masculine, active mode, Aries, and the representative of the masculine, Mars, is in the Venus-ruled, feminine, highly earthly mode of Taurus. There's an element of balance here. It also means that some of those impetuous impulses may get some grounding and benefit of looking at, quote, reality before just diving in, or instead of just diving in. Now, by the end of the week, by the weekend, we then get to sit in a tree and look at it all. We have a full moon in Virgo. On Sunday, Virgo is a highly intellectual sign. Full moon is all about emotions cresting, coming to a head. There's a nice pile-up in Pisces opposite the moon, which is soaking us in a giant hot tub of life where our own wounds and illusions and fantasies and inspirations are commingling with those of all of humanity, and who knows where anyone starts and anyone else stops. So the objectivity and discernment and drive to find ways to improve of this moon are really a godsend. And add to that the moon has a lovely, lovely link to the transformative powers of Pluto. We can hone in very easily on what is most important, what makes us feel the safest, which of course can also take the form or come in the form of experiencing what really freaks us out first before we shine light on it and make it go away or take new form. It's worth noting that this full moon is the first lunation on the Virgo-Pisces axis since the Pisces new moon solar eclipse of last month ended the 2-year eclipse cycle that we've been through. So this is the first report card on how well we are or are not setting up boundaries between us and other people, how healthy these boundaries are, how much we're soaking up other people's stuff, how much we're living with compassion, or whether there's blame or scapegoating or just wallowing in wounds going on. And again, the lineup of this particular full moon has a really potent purging power to it, so you can cut stuff out that you're really not comfortable with. You can read more in my forecast for the Virgo full moon, which is already up under the Astro-Insight tab at empowermentunlimited.net. And in the meantime, the homing thought of the week is Show Me. The song of the week, It Was a Very Good Year by Frank Sinatra. And the image of the week comes from the screwball comedy Topper, George and Marion Kirby sitting on the top of a very tall bookcase and watching life play out below them. 2 online appearances this week to alert you to. First, I am teaching a 1-hour introduction to understanding relationships through astrology, live Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, March 9, and available on demand after that on the Om Times online learning platform, experts.omtimes.com/Kathy Biehl. And then on Friday at noon Eastern Time, March 10th, I am hosting a Facebook Live Astro Chat about the Virgo full moon on the Om Times Magazine Facebook page. For more about all of this, visit empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. Talk to you next week.